Okay, we're in week 2 of phase 2, what I'm going to call the fatigue point.
Yes.
People are wondering, okay, is this detox thing working? Is what I'm doing actually helping my body? Because what happens over a period of time is people start getting used to a new normal.
Yes.
And they're wondering what's happening. So let's talk about one of the most important things about the program, because creating the environment within your gut. And when I say gut, I'm talking about the liver, the kidneys, the gut, the bowel, the whole system, the stomach. Mm-hmm. Creating the environment takes time. In fact, most of your professional athletes will go through this program for 60, 90 days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of our CEOs, a lot of these guys who have had tremendous stress on their bodies, will take them through this for 2, 3, 4 months. My Lyme's patients, we can go through for a year and a half. So this is a longer process and to really get everything 100% cleaned out. So this is one of those things that where, like you said, we start to hit that fatigue point of, hey, I've been doing this for 2.5 weeks. When is the aha miracle moment going to come? But just stick with it and you'll get there.
Yeah, and let's talk about that aha moment, because one of the things that people miss is some of the subtleties. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about one, how about increased energy?
Yeah. So one of the funny things is I always have everybody keep a journal, and people will come in and they'll say, I don't know if this is working or not. And I'll be like, well, let's take a look at your journal. And they're like, well, I did 5 things the first, when we started, and I did 5 things today. I don't know. And I'm like, oh, well, let's look at it. And so it comes in, and day 1 is woke up, fed kids, took nap, woke up, took shower, made dinner. Like that's their day 1. And then you go a couple weeks or months in, and they're like, went and worked out for 2 hours, went and had lunch with my friends, did this thing, had to run the project to the kids, helped with this, did homework, all these things. And they get done, they go, well, they're both 5 things. They go, well, did you take a shower on this day? I'm like, well, yeah, I took 2. One I woke up and one after I worked out. Well, you didn't put it on your piece of paper. Oh, I guess I forgot that. Did you feed the kids on this piece? Well, yeah, I fed them 3 times. Okay, you didn't write that down. And so we start to kind of we start to forget or omit the little things that we used to write down. Used to be a thing. Like, oh, I took a shower today. I actually made breakfast for the kids, because that's all you did. But then as you start getting more energy, again, it's subtle. You don't really notice it. You start doing more things. And that's one of the big things we have to recognize, is that if we're doing more things, or we're doing the things we already did, but we're doing them better, that's a really good step in the right direction. So we need to make sure that we recognize that and we kind of take shape of that. So
let's talk about the body's ability to metabolize or take benefit of the nutrients that we're taking in addition to the detox. I mean,
yes.
Idealife has a lot of great products. Anything from a hydrate formula to help you if you don't like the taste of water, to Slim Plus if you want to throw a little prebiotic onto the probiotic that's part of the gut formula, to ID Nutrition, customized nutrition platform.
Yes.
Let's talk about the increased benefit of those products when you actually are going through and have completed the detox.
So a lot of times people come through and they say, you got to pull the inflammation out of the gut. You got to heal the gut. You got to pull the inflammation out. Well, they never say how. The way you pull the inflammation out of the gut is with the liver. Now, here's the fun thing. If the gut is inflamed, it can't absorb nutrients very well at all. So once you start cleaning the liver and you start pulling the inflammation out of the gut, now the gut can start to actually absorb the nutrients that you're consuming. And so your nutrient need goes a little bit down, but your nutrient function goes way up. So as we start cleaning that gut, we're gonna get a lot more absorption and utilization of the nutrients that you're already taking.
So let's talk about what you just said, because I wanna make sure everyone understands it, because this is a really key part. The part of the detox, the ingredients in the detox actually aren't what removes the inflammation from the gut. It's when you remove all the toxins from the liver, one of the liver's functions is to remove that inflammation. So by feeding the body what it needs, when it needs it, it can do exactly what it was designed to do rather than being on overload all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
But let's talk about something else that happens in week 3, because this is something I love it when you tell this story, because it really gives people an understanding of the importance of detoxification. I've got a toxin in my body. It's been in there a long time. My body is actually designed to protect itself by wrapping that toxin in fat.
Yeah.
So tell people what I mean by that.
So this is a big deal with heavy metals, but there's a lot of other different toxic chemicals that our body has, and it recognizes it. So think about this toxin like a ball of spikes, and it's bouncing around to the body. And so the body goes, okay, I got to deal with this somehow. I can't get it out because my kidneys, my liver are all jammed up. So I have to do something for this. So it takes it and it literally wraps it in fat, like bubble wrap, and then kind of sticks it off on the side so it won't hurt anything. Well, as your body starts detoxing, it remembers where it put it. And so as it starts detoxifying, it can then open up that fat, detox that toxic chemical, but then it has this piece of fat and it's like, well, I can't burn this. This is all tainted with that toxic chemical. So your body can just literally just dump that piece of fat out. And so that's one of the other ways that we can start getting rid of all the stored junk, and in some cases weight, that we're storing because of the toxins. And as that flushes out, everything, it just makes you feel better all the way around.
Well, let's talk about the one other thing that happens during week 3, which is it's hard to describe, it's hard to see, it's hard to measure, but it's this feeling of, almost like a light feeling. I feel lighter. And this is something we talked about in a lot of your patients. They all experience this. It's like the scale says you're roughly the same, but hey, I feel a lot lighter. Let's talk about that.
So a big piece of that's the inflammation. So as we start pulling the inflammation out, everything in the body, not just the nerves, not just the brain, everything starts working better. So it's kind of like your joints got lubricated. You can just move around a lot easier. Things aren't as stiff. They don't hurt as much. Everything's just easier on the body for function. And people notice that. And that's when they're like, I can't, it's not the right word. I just feel lighter. I just feel like everything's easier to do. And that's because we've pulled all that inflammation out of the body. It's like taking all the rust off of something. Hinges work better. Everything works better without the rust. In this case, we're just knocking off the rust and making everything work better.
Well, we're entering week 3. We're getting ready to reintroduce the gut formula. We're going to go back in there and throw a lot of powerful probiotics back into that gut. We're going to do a little bit of the psyllium husk to kind of flush out what's left in there. But that's all going to be in week 4, which until next time, don't forget, drink your water. Don't forget, drink your water. But most importantly, know that you're almost done, and we're going to start talking about what's next.
Yes.